hiya. Susie, you've come to visit with me. Ah, and you brought a sandwich. Pumpernickel. Where's the chopped liver? I've been in this place 10 years. I've been locked in here. I remember the night they came for me. They took me out of my room, shoved me into the ambulance, put a shot in my arm, and it all became a blur. It reminded me of the days and nights of the pogroms in Poland, especially Easter Sunday, when the Cossacks would ride through our shtetl, and I took my son Avi, and I would hide him in the fields. They were looking for little Jewish boys to kill. Susie, do you remember when they called your mother that night? I could hear my parents laughing down the hall in their bedroom. It was late, school night. Solly, look at this hair. It looked like a giant blonde bubblehead. I paid $6 for this hairdo, and I'm washing it out. I look like Phyllis Diller after she stuck her hands in an electric socket 6 times. It's not sexy. You think everything is sexy. The phone? It's so late. Who could be calling? Hello? Yeah, this is she. I can't. Slow down. I don't understand what you're... What? Hold on a moment. Solly, it's the home. It's where Mom is. They're talking that she's got to be committed. Yes? Can't this wait till tomorrow? It's the middle of the night. She's what? Hold on. Don't talk to me like that. I have to speak to my husband. They want me to choose between Creedmoor and some... They say she's paranoid and I have to choose where... Creedmoor is 1.5 miles from the kids' school. They'll see it every day on the school bus. And we go on our way to Carvel. Why am I thinking of these things? No, I'll talk to them. Creedmoor, no, not there. Pilgrim State on Long Island. Give them our information and I'll call them in the morning, and please, be gentle with my mother. I remember my grandmother, long before that night that changed her life forever. So, mein Kinder, look at that Punum. I kiss your little Punum. How are you? The teacher yelled at you. You're a smart little kid. What? I'm making blintzes? You know your father loves my blintzes. You will love my cookie too. The teacher yelled, don't be sad about the math. You're a smart little kinder. My little Sorivka. Do you know who you're named for? My sisters who died in the Holocaust. Those bastard Nazis. What are you? You don't like I should say the word bastard? You say son of a bitch all day. Me, I say bastard, and they will. So, look at that Punum and the blue eyes. Mwah, kiss your face. Blue eyes. I often would wonder, because the Jews, we lived among the Poles for centuries, and the Poles all have blue eyes. I would think, how did we get our blue eyes? But then I don't want to think about such things. So, your teacher, she should kiss your punum. Better yet, she should kiss your tuchus. It's called an act. Oh, I was just trying my English out. So, hiya. How are you and Sally? He's so good to you, and he loves my cooking. Yeah. Why are you rolling your eyes at me? Men, they have their good sides, and their not so good sides. Better you just don't pay attention to the not so good sides, and you won't be alone like me. 2 husbands here in America. One, your father, I buried, and the other I divorced. Ah, yes. So here we are, and I'm making the princes. The other day, I go to the rabbi, and I say to him, so, I need me a Shabbos goy to light my stove so I can cook on Saturday. And you know what he says? He says, Mrs., what you think? This is 1935? It's 1957. There's no Shabbos goys lined up outside the synagogue waiting for a nickel. Go back to your apartment building you just moved into. Find somebody. Sabbath. So I woke up this morning and I thought, would God be so mad at me if I light my own stove? I decide no. Sabbath. I know what you think that I think that you and Sally and the kinder on Saturday, you walk from Bayside, Queens, up the Parkway, 5 of you, and then over the Brooklyn Bridge to come see me. I know out of respect, Sally, he parks the car after he drops you off and he goes and parks the car. But I love it when at the end of your visit, we stand outside my building and the sun is setting and we're all lined up waiting for him to go get the car. Does he think I thought he walked back to Queens? Amen. But the rabbi, he's just a bastard. Ah, okay. I'll say it in Yiddish so the kinder doesn't understand. He's a mamsa. Here, those rabbis, you know they're all the same. All day long they spend in the synagogue, davening and praying and arguing with God and arguing about the Torah. I'm surprised one day God doesn't just lean down and go, enough already! Shriners, get a job. My papa, he had a job. He was a school teacher. And he got me into high school. I was the first female from my family to go to the gymnasium. Ah, Papa was so proud. I graduated with honors. I spoke 4 languages, and I should have gone to university. Yes, that's what I should have done. Now I speak 5 languages, because you know I taught myself English. After your papa dropped dead, he should rest in peace. I had to go work in the bakery. Oh, I hated it, 10 hours a day. But then at the end of the day, I'd come home, and I'd sit after we had supper, and I'd learn myself the English. Then the world, it became sort of I don't know, a topsy-turvy place. When those bastard Nazis, I won't speak about such things. The rabbi does remind me though. He reminds me of the rabbi in my shtetl. He would sit on his asshole, tuchus, and he would complain about his wife and his life. His wife, she worked like a dog. All the women did, cooking and cleaning and sewing and baking. Chaya, how come you don't cook and bake as good as me? I sometimes wonder if you're my daughter. I guess you're put him too. You remember our little Shabbos girl that would come to our house when we lived on Fulton Street? He was a cute little Irish kid, maybe 7, and he loved my homemade gefilte fish. His mother, she didn't love me after by an accident. I kicked her flower pot down the stairs, and the name was Mrs. O something or other. You know the Irish, all their names are O something or other. Here we are. I remember in our shtetl. Susie, what are you reading? Superman. You're such a what a smart kid. I kiss you put him. I wish I had married me a Superman. Then I wouldn't be standing in my small apartment, such a tiny kitchen. I'd have a big house. Oh, the house would be big. And you know, Susie, I would read all day, just like you. Your mother loves to read too. When she was little, she would go and walk herself to the Brooklyn Library and read and hide from me all day. I knew because I followed her. But I left her alone because she reminded me of me. Oh, I would fight with my mother all the time. My mother would yell and scream at me and say nasty things. She should rest in peace. Ugh, the bastard Nazis. So after I'm done with blintzes, I'm going to put a duck in the oven because Sally loves my duck. I know it's fatty, Chaya. Sally's not so fat, he could eat it. And then I'll make us some borscht and chicken soup. Yes. Wonderful. Right. I remember then, though, the world had became topsy-turvy. We saw the newsreels, the Nazis marching from country to country. Susie, do you know that back then, letters, they took 3 weeks to come by boat. And today, you write me a letter, and I write you a letter. The letter, it comes. But then the letters, they stopped coming. I begged my mother, let the family emigrate. Come, we'll make do, we'll manage. And no more letters. Ah, did I ever tell you about the man I loved in my shtetl? He was the butcher's son. My papa and my mama said, no, you can't marry beneath your station. Like, what was I, a train stop? I wanted to marry him, but instead, I did the arranged marriage with Joseph, your papa. He was a scholar and a tailor. Not so much a tailor, but when he came here, his heart wasn't so good, so he didn't work much. Ah, if I hadn't come over on the boat with Aby when he was a little boy, your uncle, I wouldn't be standing in my kitchen. Look at that punim. You, my darling, Susie, and Kaya, I kiss you too. The letters, they would stop coming. It was a crazy time. But then, I remember my sister. We were the only ones that came. On the boat. My bastard sister, she came too. She stole my sweater with the fox collar, and she visited. And she, said she didn't do it. But there it was. The fox was so soft lying on that collar. I saved up maybe 8 months for that sweater. Gone. She could be dead like a fox in Chicago. Do you think I care? The blitzes are almost done. Let's eat. Kalia, come. If I had known that you were coming, I would have maybe had them dress me differently. Every day it just melts into one day. I don't know what day it is, but the day that you and Susie come to visit, it is the best day of all. Come, we'll go over. This is my corner. They know this is where Mrs. Zipper sits. And no one comes unless I invite them in. Come sit. How's your partner? I'm so glad you didn't bring her. So tell me, Susie, do you know any Yiddish words? Bobkis? That means nothing. So now you know how to say I know nothing in Yiddish. That's really good. So tell me, Susie, do the kids teach you bad words when you teach? Tell me some. Hiya. We're just having a visit here. I don't need you to bother us. Do your crossword puzzles and eat your sandwich and you'll be okay. Here she comes. The nurse. With nurses like her, we'd all be dead. Oh, hello, yes. I'm visiting. Yes. With my daughter, Aria, and my granddaughter, Susie. She's a teacher. This is Nurse O'Reilly. She takes such good care on me. So yes, we're going to have lunch. They brought me kosher corned beef with kosher pickles and kosher bread. Would you like to sit with us and eat? Good, I didn't think so. See you later. Hi. She scares me. Do you know what she did the other day? They tried to feed me tray here. I know the difference. She comes over and she goes, here, Mrs. Zipper, eat this chicken patty. What do they think? I'm blind and deaf and dumb. I know the difference between a chicken and a pig. A chasa is a chasa. It doesn't turn into a chicken because the Irish nurse says it is. And then she grabs my arms. And she leaves bruises, but I keep my sweater down. I don't like talking about such things with you. So, what do you mean? You had no choice. What choice? You couldn't afford, we couldn't afford the private room in the place, and the bastards took me in the night. Yes, some words never change. I still love that word. They took me and they brought me here. And where is this place? It's called Pilgrim State. Do you see any pilgrims? I see crazy nurses and doctors you don't want to know from. So I couldn't get along with Mrs. Pincus. She was a pain in the tuchus. And we shared that room, and you know I have these moods. You remember the time I called when she was younger, and she picked up the phone, Susie, and she got scared, and she handed you the phone, and you yelled at me and said, "Ma, what did you say to Susie? She's frightened." I didn't know what I was saying. I had no idea what I was saying, these moods that come over me. Would I hurt a hair on her head, ever? So here I am, and the doctors and the nurses, they treat me like I'm invisible. What? You would take me out and fight them, and take me to what? Another third Jewish home, and then what would happen? They talk about me all the time, I hear them. She's paranoid. Some fancy schmancy word, paranoid. Like I don't understand the English. I speak it. I understand. Wouldn't you be? If you had grown up in the shtetl, where all around you outside everybody hated your guts. And then when I was 17, standing in the doorway with my best friend, as the Cossacks marched past in the shtetl, they shot her and she fell down dead at my feet. Paranoid. Schmaranoid. Fancy word. Chaya. I am a strong woman. I make the best of it here. How can I say to you what it was like? Grief. Now there's a good English word. After the war ended, and we heard about the camps, there was this silence that fell all over Berkeley. I couldn't even look my neighbors in the eye. How do you say gone? Like a puff, like smoke in those chimneys. I'm here. I left my mama, my papa, my aunts and uncles, and so many cousins. Gone. Never again to get a letter from papa. So I'm here. I make the best of it. And so I kissed the tuchus of the Irish nurse. I have had to do worse. Come, Chaya, Susie.